This is Daniel Herron, attorney here at Allman & Lee. I'm meeting with Miss Tana Reynolds. Miss Reynolds, can you go ahead and explain to me the circumstances that led up to you deciding that you needed to seek Allman & Lee's services?
Well, initially what happened was I'd gotten a letter saying that they were going to foreclose on my house and they were going to sell it. And it put me in a very desperate situation. And that's what made me think that I had to look somewhere for someone to help me.
Okay, so the initial reason was to say this was actually a second property, right?
This is my
This was your rental property.
Mm-hmm.
And
I had lived in this house, and I was going to try to hang on to it. I moved into my primary residence with my daughter and my grandchildren, but I was going to hang on to this because I was living in it at one time and thought I could rent it out and then I could eventually move back into it. And so that's why I was hanging on to it, or trying to desperately.
And then, at a certain point, you started getting stressed again. So you came in that initial time, relieved, and then all of a sudden you realized, okay, I got 2 mortgage payments, and now I got to pay this trustee payment. So then the freak out occurred again, right?
That's exactly right.
And it was on Memorial Day weekend where you were freaking out.
I came in on Friday afternoon because I knew that I could not make the payment to the trustee, and it was due on June the 2nd. And Terry, who was my initial consultant, I came in and I spoke to her, and I had a mini breakdown, and I said, I just can't do this. You all have been very nice and sweet to me. I thought you could help me, but it's just not going to work for me. And she said, hang on, don't give up, let me go get somebody, and we'll work with you. We can still help you. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so she got, there was a skeleton crew here because it was late on Friday afternoon before the holiday. And I spoke with Sherry, who was at the front desk, and she said, I said, look, this is what I've decided. I can't keep that house. The second house, I'm just going to let it go. And she said, well, if that's what you want to do, we can help you. We can convert you from a 13 to a 7. It'll be much easier on you, and we can still help you. And I was like, are you serious? Really? And she said, yes. You know, you've got a long weekend here. Somebody's going to be here Monday because we have to be here because of the foreclosures and the selling of houses that happen like at the beginning of each month. I will have someone call you on Monday, and they will talk you through this, and then you'll make another appointment with us and come back in. And so that, I mean, because I was so stressed out, and I was so upset, and I was crying, and so that really gave me a lot of hope. And so that weekend, I actually felt much better because I thought that weekend I was just like, thought it was going to be a horrible Memorial Day weekend for me. My whole family was off from school and work and everything, and I was just like, thought I was going to just go hide in my room. So
and you had the opportunity to meet several staff members at Allman & Lee, right? And
I've talked to Terry, Tracy, Kara, Sean, Mr. Decker, Sherry, Dee Dee, what is her name?
Nikki.
And then there's another girl up front that has short.
Chris. Yeah.
Who am I missing? Oh, Paul, one of the lawyers.
And then you met with 3 lawyers, so you got to really meet a whole lot of people.
Yes, I kind of know the family here a little
bit. That's right.
Yes.
And so, would you say that everyone, as far as like paying attention to your case and your needs and making sure that at the end of the day, what we're here to do is to help solve your problems? Do you think we've done that?
I certainly do.
And going forward now, knowing that this rental house, that's going to be gone, that all your creditors aren't going to bug you anymore, those debts are going to be gone, and knowing in 4 to 6 months that you're going to be debt-free, fresh.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
It just makes me feel, it really makes me feel wonderful. You know, it's not exactly, the thing that you want to do as a responsible individual, but I had gotten to the end of my rope, and the only way for me to get out of this was to file this Chapter 7. That was
it, because otherwise you were going to sink, and they would have taken both your homes. And
that's true.
And it's actually, I know a lot of people. There's this idea that bankruptcy is bad and you shouldn't file, but when you think of all the people who filed bankruptcy, and the companies. I mean, this economy right now, most people can't withstand it. I mean, what do you do when you can't put food on the table? What do you do when you're unemployed and you can't even find a job at McDonald's?
Well,
what are you supposed to do?
And see, when I first came to you guys to file my Chapter 13, I had a job. It was a part-time job, but I was making $10 an hour, working about 32 to 37 hours a week. And my daughter was helping, to support me. So everything was kind of okay. And then when I came in to change my Chapter 13 to a Chapter 7, I'd been laid off from my job. So that was it for me. That was it.
That really would have been the straw.
That was really the last straw, yeah. And so I was very thankful, even though it wasn't my ideal situation,
Still knowing that you can do something.
Still knowing that there was a way to have someone help me to come out of this and be able to start over fresh.
Exactly. Perfect. All right, Ms. Reynolds, well, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.